You've had Casey here all weekend with you. Have you had a good time with Case? Yeah, he's the best. He's the best. And you know, Casey and I, we've been friends for well over a decade. We became buddies before either of us were speakers. When we were both in the entertainment business. I was producing a project, and we contracted with this company to rent their different props and things that they ran out for production. So, anyways, Casey and I became very good friends. Casey, are you going to tell a story how we met? Or
why don't you tell
yes,
it, and I will add the additional component.
All right. So I remember I needed 50 walkie-talkies for a TV show we were producing, and so I just went to pick them up. And so I pull up, and it's like 8 in the morning, and Suzanne, we'll make some room for you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, that's cool. So it was, I roll in like at 8 in the morning, I pull up, and I say, hey, I'm here to rent walkie-talkies, and there's Casey. Hey, how you doing? I'm cool. He's like, right, what's up? And he's like, hey. He's like, can I offer you a beer? Like, it's 8 in the morning, you know? I'm like, I don't know. I guess. Anyways. And we just started talking and hanging out. And there's like this lobby, and they've got a couch and a fridge full of beers, and there's like, hey, come hang out. And it was just cool. And so there's more. Casey will tell you the whole story, but we got a chance to get to know each other. And we became buds. And we've been friends ever since. And then I became a speaker, and he became a speaker. And so it's cool that we get to play in this space too. We travel all over the world together. If we do an event, Casey's our MC. He always speaks at our events. He's like family. He delivers tremendous value. And Casey is the networker's networker. He's the ultimate connector. And a very, very dear friend. And so if you've had a great time this weekend, give him a huge round of applause. Standing ovation for Casey Remillard. Bring him on down.
Amazing weekend so far? Yeah. Awesome. I am really thrilled and excited to be here. Now, let me just say, for the purposes of the next hour, I want you to forget that I'm the MC of the weekend. Okay? The reason I say that is because sometimes, and I do not MC for any event other than Outsource Live, and it's because I believe that this is one of the premier events of the year. And when Davin and Vijal ask a favor, you say yes, right? I'm a firm believer that opportunities multiply as they are seized. It's my favorite quote of all time. It's how I live my life, right? So today, we're going to have a great conversation. Remember I said earlier about conversations, one that you have with me, ones that I have with you, ones that you have with each other, and the ones you have with your own self? Yeah. Now's the time where now we get to take that off a little bit. And I'm going to say, I want you to have a conversation with me in the same way that I'm having it with you. Okay? So I promise to play 100% full out for the next hour. I will only make that promise if you promise the same thing. Okay?
Yes.
So you all promise?
I promise.
Awesome. Okay. So what we're going to talk about today is a new way of looking at networking. By a show of hands, let me just ask you, how many people absolutely love, like they're so jazzed and excited and thrilled to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning to go to a networking event where you get to listen to 75 people sell you their crap. Right? It sucks. Right? So today what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about some new networking strategies. Okay? And what you're going to see, let me just tell you ahead of time, there are going to be some intrusive cameras in my face the entire presentation. Let me ask you by show of hands, I want you to raise your hand for me if you are a speaker or an aspiring speaker. Raise your hand. Okay, I want you guys to look around for a second. Raise them high. I want you guys to look around for a second. Because what I'm going to talk about today directly affects your bank account as a speaker. And I'm just going to tell you straight out, most speakers are idiots. I'm one of them. I do about 18 presentations a month. I live in hotels. I know the entire hotel staff here. I do about 80 nights a year in this hotel, in this room. I travel around the world and I do platform presentations, which means I'm one of the guys that gets up there, I do my little singing monkey routine, and in 1 hour I'm asking you to spend $1,000 with me. Right? So we're not doing that today, and that's because Davin and Bijal and I, we're such good friends. We've been close for so long. They're just like, dude, just come, give it 100%. Okay? So today, we're going to talk about some networking skills, some digital networking skills, some digital... I believe you have to play in the digital world. And let me just say this. As a speaker, here's the deal. Look around the room. Let's call this 100 people. Okay, is that fair? We'll call this 100 people. So as a speaker, I hear all the time from other speakers, dude, how do you work so much? I work a lot. Beach knows, I work a lot. I don't have a business card. I don't have a speaker's reel. I don't have a speaker website. I don't have one sheet. I don't have any of that stuff. You know what I have? A massive amount of video. Somebody finds me because they're looking for somebody else. They find me because they're looking for you, and you don't show up online. And I show up number 2. Okay? So the reason these guys are in my face with these video cameras all day is for a very simple reason. Is it possible that when we're done here today, that I could take this video and have it be seen by more than 100 people? Right? So let me ask this. Is the real value of being in front of an audience the audience, or is it the digital asset creation that's being created?
Digital asset creation.
It's both. Right? But the digitization of your presentation is worth far more than you're going to make inside the room. I promise you. Okay, so we're going to talk about today. This is a great thing. I'm completely going to ignore these guys the entire time. This is Bruce Waterman. He's a good friend of mine. He travels around the world with me. He videotapes almost every presentation I do. He takes it home, he cuts it up, he puts it up there, he puts a lower third on it, and bam, I have a bunch of really kick-ass videos. Outsource. Tasha is here on behalf of Davin and Bijal. This is a note. If you're doing your own event and your own promoter, and you are a promoter, here's the thing. You bring in the best, absolute best photographer you can, and then as a gift to your speakers, you let them have all the video and pictures that they take. You know why? Because they're going to be branded all with a 1, 2, 3 employee thing on. You think that she's not instructed to put 1, 2, 3 employee in the back of me every single picture she takes? Yeah. Of course she is. You know why? Because Davin and Bijal know that it's branding. They market like mad, right? So they're everywhere, every video. I literally said to Bruce, if there's any way in the last 10 minutes you cannot have Davin's and Bijal's giant heads in my pictures, that would be awesome, right? But you do want to make the promoters happy. So we're going to talk. That's good. I mean, look, I love that you love tigers and elephants and pirate outfits, but I was going to go down a whole rabbit hole right there. And here's the thing. If I get off on a tangent, you guys, you're just going to have to go along with the ride. I am not a linear speaker, so I'm far more about being what's in the room than I am about making sure that what's on the slide deck. Okay, fair enough? And don't let me forget, when we start talking YouTube, to tell you the YouTube secret. You guys, I know I told some of you to remind me. Okay, so let me ask you this. I want you to think right now of the 15-year-old in your life. Your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew. One time I was at a presentation, I said your boyfriend, your girlfriend, and I got all kinds of trouble on that one. But I want you to think of the 15-year-olds right now, the young punks that are running around all over the internet, right? You got them in your head? Everybody have a 15-year-old in your head?
Yep.
Okay, I'm about to scare the bejesus out of you.
Yes.
Just because I said a 15-year-old, right? Here's the deal. You have 1,000 days until they run the world.
Yeah.
You have 1,000 days until these guys turn 18.
Yeah.
So you have some options here, right? You better figure out how to play where they are and sell stuff how they buy stuff, or you're going to be filling out an application to work for them, although the big problem's going to be you're not going to know how to fill out the application because it's going to arrive via Instagram, Pinterest, or StumbleUpon, or TikTok, or whatever. Right? And if you can't figure out how to play on the internet, you are screwed. Right? How many people right now, just out of curiosity, how many people buy stuff on the internet? Raise your hand. You bought something on the internet. Look around. Okay, put it down. Now, how many of you sell stuff? And I don't mean like one widget a week or a month. I mean you sell stuff on the internet. Raise your hand. Okay, why are there like a third of you are raising your hands? Right? This is crazy. You all buy stuff on the internet and then you don't sell stuff on the internet. You've got 15-year-olds now running. Look, Marilyn, little Marilyn's running around here. She's all back there working on iPads and computerizing and all this kind of stuff. And some of us are looking at her like, oh, that technology thing, that's scary. You got 1,000 days. Maybe with Marilyn you have a few more. Right? But you have 1,000 days. So I'm going to ask you a question. And this is really, really important to your success. Really important. You ready? Well, if we could get the slideshow to work, I would be able to ask you that. I don't know.
Turn it upside down.
I broke it. That would be really bad if I broke it. There we go. Do you want to be rich or do you want to be right? Wait, who said both? Can you be both?
Yes.
Can you?
Yes.
Let me ask you this. If you think you're right, and you get in a mastermind room and they tell you you're wrong, are you going to agree with what they say to be rich? Or are you going to dig your heels in the sand and go, but I'm right? You can be right or rich. I don't think you can be both. Did you say yes you can?
I said Warren Buffett can.
Can he?
No.
Do you think he's right all the time?
No, he's right enough.
You have to be right 51% of the time. Right? I know nothing about sports, you guys. Zero. Like I follow bull riding and curling. Like that's it. Like nothing. Right? Curling is, by the way, the cement things where they sweep. Right? I know nothing about sports, but what I do know about baseball is this. I know that you can get up at bat and strike out 7 out of 10 times and make $12 million. Yeah. Right? I mean, if you really think about it, you don't have to be right 30% of the time in baseball and you're making gazillions of dollars. Right? But here's the thing. They all have coaches, they all have trainers, and they have their minds open to learning new stuff. So I'm just going to suggest that you don't always have to be right. Right? Because if you're always only right, you never allow anything in. So if you want to be right, that's cool. I just hope you know how to fill out applications via Pinterest. Funny is I don't really even use Pinterest, but we'll talk about that. So here's the scoop. This thing is not... Okay, so here's the thing. Digital collaboration is today's new currency. Right? It's all great that you all come here and you're all networking, right? But here's the reality. If you step outside this room to network with someone and you miss one of the presentations that's going on in here, you are wasting your time. That's the claim I'm going to make. And here's why. If Judy and I go out and network live face-to-face, we're going to go network. We're going to miss the seminar because we're too cool. We're going to go hang outside and we're going to network. Right? And I say, Judy, what's a good client for you? And she tells me, and I tell her what a good client for me is. And then we leave this workshop. You know what happens? In order for me to pass her a referral, listen to all of the things that in reality have to happen. I have to be at a party or at a business meeting or listening for somebody to tell me that they're an ideal client for her. Then I have to figure out, oh wait, that Judy, I met Judy at Outsource Live 6. Let's see, is she in my phone? No. But she's in my Infusionsoft account because I use my VAs to scan in cards and do a follow-up sequence with her, so I've got to go find her in my Infusionsoft account. Then I have to call the person back that I met with, give them their name and number, give them Judy's name and number. Then that person has to go, what are they going to do before they call her? Google her, right? All I have to do to prove this point is, let me just say, Susanna, you moved to Los Angeles from Florida, you roll into town and you say to me, hey Case, I know you're a trusted guy, you know everybody in town, who's the best OBGYN in the country? And I say, hey, here's his name and number, here's her name and number. You think she's going to go talk to a doctor about her lady bits without Googling the person first?
No way.
No way. So here's the reality. When I pass Judy a referral to somebody over here, they're going to go Google them. If Judy doesn't have an online presence or her website sucks or she doesn't have a digital footprint, there's nothing on her, she loses the business. So the real question isn't how much of your business is coming from word of mouth referrals. The real question is how much are you losing to word of mouth referrals. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
So let's change it, shall we? I just think that digital collaboration is the new way of doing business, right? And this is a brand new slide deck for me, and I'm going to be completely upfront and honest with you guys. I literally built this slide deck, and I have my notes up here. So when you see me roll on over here, it's because I want to make sure that I'm on track. I tend to get a little off base because I get a little excited every now and then, right? You can't tell. So I used to stand up and I used to say connectivity is today's new currency. And while that's true, right? If Linda and I connected, Suzanne and I are connected, that's great. But the real reality is collaboration is the new currency. The more we can collaborate with our competitors, the more we can collaborate with our co-creators, the better off we are. You've heard a lot this weekend about joint venture, partnering up, leveraging time, energy, money, reality, relationships. When you can connect with other people and collaborate that already are in the same mindset, already have the same sense of being, you win every time. And the pinnacle is if you can make your competitors your customers. Right? So you know what you do? You find your group of competitors and you say, hey guys, I have a new, better way. Let's all work together. I'll help you build your business. One of the reasons why I wanted you guys to raise your hand if you're speakers, which is pretty much everybody in the room, because it's a great profession. You know what else it is? It sucks. It does. Let me run the life of a speaker down, and Bijal will tell you this exactly true. Most of us go to do a platform presentation. We have to travel ourselves to get there. We pay all our own expenses. We get up in front of the room. We sell stuff. The back of the room takes 50% or whatever it is they take, whatever the percentage is. They run their credit card, and you get paid a month later, 30 days later, when they take charge of all that kind of stuff. And then meanwhile, you put out all the money to get there. So if you don't sell stuff, you're screwed. And you know what? If you don't sell stuff, you know what else? Why else you're screwed? Because the promoters won't have you back. Right? So the worst thing I hear when I talk to speakers is they say, Casey, you know what? I built this program, I recorded this program, it's all in pretty CDs, it's in a box, I got a whole blah, 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 I got the fact, I just got to get on more stages. It is too effing risky to put you on a stage.
Yeah.
It's too risky for the promoters. Right? I know I'm in speaker mode for a second, but the reality is that promoters aren't going to put you on stage just because you wrote a program and you put a CD set together of something you don't have any test. It's too risky. But I'll tell you what, somebody goes and Googles Casey Eberhardt, they don't have to look too long online before they know what I'm about, what kind of presentation I am. They know I'm not going to stand up behind the podium and say, hello and welcome. Right? That's not what you're going to get if you get Casey Eberhardt to come to your stage. It's just not. You're going to get some spaz running around like a lunatic, but who really cares about the overall customer experience, which is you. Right? And so that's really just so important. But here's the thing. If you don't have a digital footprint, you are dead in the water. You're just, you are. It's the reality. In any business, it doesn't matter. My dad's a veterinarian or just retired as a veterinarian. It used to drive me crazy. There was a veterinarian that opened up literally across the street from him in this horrible little crappy shack. And my dad got so mad. My dad was just furious at this guy. So what does my dad do? My dad goes to the local Safeway store and puts his business on the front of shopping carts at the Safeway store. That's his defensive marketing technique. Right? And he can't figure out why the business is going out the door. Right? So my dad had excellent customer service. He was the best surgeon on animals ever. And he's losing business this tool across the street. You know why? Because a guy had a digital presence and my dad was too afraid of the internet. Oh, he's going to probably watch this tape. I just realized that that's actually not going to do it. We're going to edit Dad's story here. Oh, I just think I got taken out of a will somewhere. And I used Tool in a presentation. Okay, so I am the CEO of a company called DNET. We're a digital networking environment, and what we do is we help and train our community, which is exactly what we are. We are a community of collaborators on creating a massive digital footprint for you, with you, and by you. Okay? Now, I'm not going to go, this is not a giant sales pitch for DNET, but I do want to tell you enough content that you can do whatever I'm going to tell you today, you can totally do yourself. How many people have a blog? Okay, cool. And how many of you blog daily? One person? Two? How many people, let me put it this way, we're at an outsourcing event, so how many people have their VA or they post content daily on their blog?
Yes.
3 or 4. Okay. Why? You guys must know the power of blogs. You all have them. So why do you not post content?
Is once a week not enough?
Once a week is not enough.
Got it, thank you.
Here's why. That means in a year you have 52 articles on there. If there's 2.4 billion search results, is 52 really going to even catch any of it?
I got you. Thank you.
Right? So we're going to talk about the new digital business model. It's going to contain 5 components. Communicate, collaborate, publish the content, share the content, and learn. Okay, and we're going to go through these each individual. So the first one is how to communicate. I love PowerPoint. There we go. Communicate. So a lot of people ask, what should I blog about? So we're focusing now in on blogging or creating content. And the beauty of everything I'm about to tell you is that this can all be outsourced to your virtual assistant. Okay? You can do it yourself. That's great. If you're a writer, you can totally do it yourself. If you're not, this is a great, great tool and community to be a part of if you have virtual assistants. Okay? So, here's the thing. I get asked all the time, hey, I don't know what to blog about. So I'm going to give you some ideas. Okay? So the first one is you can interview others. When I go to a networking event, I only have one objective when I go to a networking event. Anybody have a guess what it is? Interview? Yes, but my only goal in going to a networking event is to never go back. This thing where you go to a chamber of commerce and you've got a plaque on your wall for being a member of 9 years, like that is not leveraging your relationships. It's a waste of time. So the chamber's gonna hate me. But here's the reality, when I go to a networking event, first off, this is a total like side note, asterisk over here. If you guys are speakers, please don't go to a chamber of commerce and stand up and go, I'm a speaker, I'm looking for stages. It's about posturing and positioning yourself. If you think that you're going to be an expert standing in front of people, you better walk into that room and own it. Okay? That's just that's a 2-second tangent. I'm sorry I was leaning on your shoulder. I'm just going to, every time, I don't know, you're my peak gal. And I got goosed. This is not Jace's show. No, when I go to a networking event, here's what I do. I don't take business cards. I only take a Sharpie and a flip cam. A Sharpie because I want other people to give me their business card, because here's the reality, right? If I give you my business card, you guys are all in a seminar on how to outsource, and you've been given follow-up sequences, right? So I give you my card, you know what you're going to do? You're going to scan it, you're going to send it via text or via picture to your VA. They're going to send me an e-card, they're going to send me a follow-up call, then they're going to try to call me, and then they're going to try to sell me your crap. Right? But you know what? If I don't take business cards, I don't have that call, but hey, you know what? I don't have a business card, Curtis, but I would love to get your card. Do you know what I do? Send to my VA, and now you're going to get a new card from me, and I'm going to sell you my crap. Right? This is about, we got to start thinking like marketers, guys. We got to start thinking like people that really mean something about our business. So when I go to a networking event, I interview people. Right? And here's why. I find the 5 most influential people in the room. Can I tell you who those 5 people are? You don't have a choice, I have a microphone, so I'll tell you anyways. First person I always try to interview is the speaker. Why? Why?
They're the most powerful.
They're the most powerful? I wish.
Huh?
Credibility?
Credibility? I have a microphone, right? I'm going to show you right now, real-time example, why you want to get to know the speakers in the room. Would you guys all turn around? That's when you're going to love me. This is my good friend Chuck Peavy. Chuck Peavy has a green certification program where for $100 you can get your business certified that you care about the environment. Right? Costs $100. He's got a website. He's got all kinds of this. It's a great certification program. So you're all going to want to talk to Chuck by the end of the day. Do you promise to do that?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Chuck.
And I have an affiliate program.
And he has an affiliate. No, look, he's also a speaker, so that's the other problem. You never want to talk too much to a speaker because Lord knows you know what's going to happen. Just we're going to have a whole conversation. But look, here's the deal. Chuck is wicked smart. He showed up yesterday. He had no idea I was in the event. I'm a good friend of his. He couldn't come back today. He asked what time I was speaking. He drove an hour to get here. He's here for my presentation, and then he's going to take off for an hour. Is it worth him driving for an hour to be here right now?
Yeah. Yes.
Right? I introduced him to Davin right before we went on. It's worth him being here. So get to know the speaker. Okay, sit down. Right? So you get to know the speaker. The other person, organizer, whoever is organizing the event. In this case, it's Liz and Christina. Why would you want to get to know those guys, gals? They organize?
They know everything.
They know everyone in the room. They know who sleeps with who doesn't pay their bill, whose credit cards got fraudulent, who didn't get paid, all that kind of jazz. So here's the deal. You guys are all trying to network with each other, but the person who knows everybody in the room and who knows who you want to know is sitting back there. You know how many boxes of books and crap I've carried since I've been here for the last 2 days? Right? But you know what? I have Christina and Marilyn and Liz. I help whatever I can because I know that if I need to meet one of you in the room, they know who you are. You guys see that?
Yeah.
And then the other 3 people I meet are the 3 biggest yap jobs in the room. Yap job number 1, yap job number 2, and yap job number 3. Right? Why would you want to get to know the yap jobs? You'll know you guys all know the yap jobs, right? I don't need to go into an explanation of who they are. You know they won't be talking to each other because, God forbid, the spotlight's on 2 of them at the same time. Right? They're the people holding court, telling jokes, they're all kind of funny, but they are the people of influence at that event. Right? So I say yap jobs, I'm a total yap job at any event I go to, so I don't say that negatively. It's a really important person to talk to. Because here's the deal, if I interview them, and I find out about their business, and I put that up on YouTube, and then I search engine optimize it for their name, if they have any yap job ability whatsoever, they kind of probably have a digital presence, and if I can make my videos stand out even above their videos, I'm actually going to be in front of them for their own name, for their own yap jobbiness. Yap jobbiness. I am an English major. I am not. Does that make sense? So while everybody's networking and everybody's trying to give a 30-second commercial of all the crap that they want to sell you, you know nobody buys anything at these events, right?
Right.
So why are we giving commercials for ourselves? You know what I do? I find the most influential person in the room, and my 30-second commercial is nothing about me whatsoever. It's all about them. If this was an event and we were doing 30-second commercials, you guys are all going to get up and try to tell me what you do because you think that I'm going to come running up to you afterwards and buy your crap. Ain't going to happen. Right? So what I would do is I would pick Chuck Peavy out of this room and I would do my 30-second commercial on Chuck. Would it be possible that after the event, I might get more play out of giving Chuck a 30-second commercial than trying to sell everybody else in the room car insurance?
Yes.
Right? So this is about collaborating, right? If I can collaborate with Chuck, right now he said something really important just then, right? He said, oh, I have an affiliate program. I don't know if I can tell you guys this. I might get in trouble, but it won't matter. But here's the deal. If any of you buy his certification program at the end of this, you know what's going to happen? He's going to send me a check! I yapped about him in a presentation on video, and he's going to send me a check. And then you know what's going to happen? Davin's going to call me and say, hey, where's my check? Right? That's why we have 2-tier affiliate programs. Right? But this is about giving back and collaborating, you guys. This is so important. So, a couple of ideas to blog. I take a flip everywhere I go. Somebody gave this to me for Christmas. It has my picture on it, so don't try to steal it. I won't tell you the story of that picture. You can interview others. So when I go to an event, 2 weeks ago I spoke at Craig Duswalt's Big Giant Entrepreneur Conference. There were 400 people in the room. All the speakers got up, they all yammer-yammered, and they ran away. None of them sold anything, none of them did anything. I paid Bruce $100 an hour to come down and videotape me. I walked out of there with, and we only spoke for 10 minutes. I have a 10-minute video on there. And then I sat in the other room and I went and I took a big banner like this. And I said, B, come up here, interview, let's interview, let's interview. And we popped off, what do we do, about 40?
At least.
We did almost 40 interviews of entrepreneurs. I didn't say anything about me. I was like, hey, what is your business? What's your best client? Blah, 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 blah. Right? Now Bruce is putting those together, putting lower thirds on them. We're going to drop them into a blog. We're going to drop them into YouTube. I'll search engine optimize them for their name and their business. So all this money they're spending trying to drive traffic to their thing, I'm going to get. It's brilliant. I'm sorry I helped design this, but it's I think it's pretty dang good. Oh, I'm getting hot. Sorry. I hate jackets anyways. I told Tasha ahead of time, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to have a costume change in the middle of this presentation. Here's why. Why would I have a costume change in the middle of the presentation other than I want to be like Cher? To look like it's 2 videos. That's the response. I mean, you and Jace, I don't know. Okay, so you can interview people, you can promote others, you can do a review of somebody else's business, a review of somebody else's product. I tested this in our blog community, so what I did was I used the same headset for my cell phone, and I burn through these things all the time, right? Because I ruin them. So what I did was I ordered, every once in a while I try to get them off base, right? He starts wearing, I can tell when Bruce knows when it's a bad day or a good day because he's wearing either sneakers or dress shoes. I know when he's videotaping me it's going to be sneakers. So, oh, total tangent. I have no idea where I am. Where was I? Who was I talking about?
2 days, costume change.
Costume change? No, I was past that.
Just storage your microphone.
Oh, thank you. Headsets on my cell phone. So I ordered a set from Amazon, okay? I plopped the Google Hangout on myself. I said, hey guys, I'm going to review these headsets. I'm going to review these headsets. They're Urban Ears. They're from Amazon. I think they're really cool. As a speaker, I'm on the road a lot. I do a lot of events. I break them, so these are really cool. Let me unload and take them out of the box. It was a 3-minute video. I took that video. I did the same thing I'm going to show you guys the actual order to do. Slapped them up on our DNet blog. And last month, I sold 6 of these things through Amazon. Now, don't anybody rush to the back yet. I did make almost $6. Right? But that video has already been seen by over 200 people. And let me ask this. Over time, I don't have to do anything for this. So over time, I never have to touch it. Was that a good use of my 3 minutes of time? Yeah. I made $6 for 3 minutes of time, probably 20 minutes by the time I was said and done with it. But that video gains power over time. Right? So this digital asset that we created, this one little blog post, this one little stupid review of an Amazon product, will continue to produce a compounding result over time. I never have to touch it again. If I only make $6 next month and $6 in perpetuity every month, that's $72 a year, $72 a year. In 10 years, I'm going to make $700. Yes. No, but the cool thing is with Amazon, and I'm not a huge Amazon affiliate guy, I'm not pitching Amazon here, but what happens is if somebody clicks on that link and then goes into Amazon and then they go buy outsource this, I get paid for them buying outsource this. So Amazon's a good thing. So anyway, you can do reviews. How to, right? We had, when we did this event in London, we had a contractor in the room that had broke his shoulder or broke his elbow. And he was like, gosh, if I could only make a business for contracting or remodeling. So we sat down one day and I said, look, why don't you do a bunch of how-to videos. I can't even remember the guy's name. I think it was Chuck, actually. But he started doing videos of how to pound in a nail property, how to change a light socket, how to lay cement, how to do all these different things. And then it said, hey, if you want me to come remodel your house, call me. His business exploded because he was educating his audience. You have to give content, you guys. That's the thing. Content is ka-ching. Okay? So the other thing, I brought this up a couple of days, yesterday, I think. If you have no time because you keep asking and answering the same questions every single day, do a video on each of the 10 questions you're asked day in and day out. Where does it say that you have to be on the phone answering the question? We have a group of 10 questions that they always ask us, and then we have a group of 10 questions of questions they should ask us. I have a canned email response, and if anybody asks me any question about my business, I send them an email that says, hey, before I answer this, I want to make sure we get all your questions answered, so will you please check out video number 3, answers your particular question, and then I've included 17 other questions in case you have any further questions. You know how much time that saves? Massive, right? And the best part is that's only with me sending those out. But those are optimized in a blog environment that if somebody types into Google how to create a better blog post, right? Now they're going to find that video and now they can come talk to me and I can teach them about the DNET community. Does that make sense? So you get double play. And then you have your VAs do it and it's great. Or you do it, it's okay. Okay, collaboration is next. This is so important, you guys. How many of you use Google Hangout right now? We did this, like, you guys, I cannot tell you, if you hear one thing from me today, go home and Google how to do a Google Hangout. It's basically like Skype recorded, directly uploaded to your YouTube channel. It's video on demand creation. It's so bitchin'. It's so cool. There's always a slip in every one. And I got my boss right here in the corner. So, here's the thing. A camera plus you plus a person of influence equals a digital asset. Does that make sense? Yeah. Can I get you guys in thinking of each blog post as its own asset? Right? So if you do one a week, congratulations, you have 52 assets. That's a heck of a lot more than most people. Right? But if nobody's seen those, you're all trying to drive traffic to your own website, right? But if you power in numbers and create a crowd together, you can create a lot more traffic, a bunch of you together, rather than just one of you individual. Does that make sense? Like Huffington Post. You guys know that the Huffington Post is... I could really get myself in trouble here. The Huffington Post is a community blog where anybody can contribute to the Huffington Post. They do not have this big news staff that they all sit there and write just for the Huffington Post. The reason that site gets so much traffic is because there's a lot of contributors that are all contributing content, and Google likes 3 things. Are you current, are you relevant, and are you trusted? And we'll come back to this. So bring me back to Google at some point. Okay? So you want to create digital assets. The more assets you create, the bigger your ROI is. Right? When I listen to Davin and Bijal talk about outsourcing and creating the outsourcing ROI, this is what they're talking about. When Davin talks about taking businesses and doing the same thing over and over and over, successful each and every time, he has a formula, he has a system. So speakers, go to an event, get out of your ego thinking that you have to speak, and get to know the people of influence. Create a massive digital library, a massive portfolio of digital assets, right? And then let the promoters go find you. So a couple of you here have said, hey, would you come do my event or whatever? And I'm like, go Google me, you can figure out how to get a hold of me. I know that's a flippant, somewhat arrogant answer, but I want somebody to go Google me to see what I'm about, because I can't stand the thought of showing up, doing somebody's event, and then thinking they're going to get a lectern speaker. I'm not the guy. That would be a really bad market to message match. Right? You know, I'm the guy that trains Tupperware a lot, and I do it in feather boas, and that's a whole other story. I just lost like 8 of them. And I know some of them in here, I probably gained 7. Okay, so we're going to talk about how do we publish this content, right? Are you laughing at me or with me?
Oh.
What? Both? Yes. Are you in Tupperware? Oh my gosh. I actually, this is a total tangent. I did a Tupperware training thing for a big giant group of Tupperware reps, and they were trying to sell a microwave pasta maker. They couldn't figure out how to sell these things, so we got together and we spent a day together, and that team won every Tupperware sales record for the number of pasta makers that they sold. It was kind of cool. Anyways, unfortunately they have pictures of me in a boa. Or fortunately, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we're publishing content. So here's the deal. You want to publish on the WordPress environment, right? I know people will try to claim to me to do on Joomla. WordPress, Google loves WordPress. I don't care about Bing, Yahoo, Dogpile. I don't care about any of that. I want to go with where the money is. And that's Google. They own everything. It's like when Davin was talking about how he sold his pager company to know that it was going to get bought out by the big guy. Google owns the world. So you can be right. I'm going to play for Bing. Or you can be rich. I don't really care. It's up to you. Right? So you want to publish on WordPress. If you blog on blogger.com or eblogger.com, I do not want you to raise your hand right now. I want you to go home and I want you to copy all of your content off of there and cancel your account. Those platforms are very dangerous because you don't own any of the content once you put it up there. You don't own it, they own it, they have the search engine optimization. If they get shut down, your blog is shut. Oh, there's that.
Blingy bling.
Right? I should not say anything about a Microsoft product. No. Okay, so here's the scoop. Next one if you can. Okay, so WordPress format. DNet, we operate on a WordPress format as well. And DNet, we're just a community. We are a community blog, so we'll talk a little bit about what we do specifically. But in your blog post, I have I do the same thing every 4 times, right? So I'm very big on system, right? And to me, a system is an acronym for save yourself some time, energy, and money. Okay, save yourself some time, energy, and money. So I always post the same 4 things in the same order on every blog post I do. It just makes it so much easier. Here we go. Featured image, which is just a picture. I pull a slide out of the Google Hangout. I take a picture of us together, Doug and I, and I put the picture on there, right? Why? Because Google indexes images. Yeah. I direct them back to the blog post that the picture was there, right? Next thing I do is a video. Why? People love videos. The only person I know that doesn't like watching videos is Christine outside. And the reason she doesn't is because she's so busy, she has so much stuff going on, that videos don't move fast enough for her. It's not her mode of dealing with consuming content. She can scan really, really fast, right? But most of us are like, we want to watch some video, we like to be busy being busy, and we want to see the bad like bed sheet in the back that the person didn't even steam out. Want to see the dogs running back. I mean, let's be real, you guys. If you're going to do a video and you're going to go buy a bed sheet at, Anna's Linens and stick it up in the backdrop, at least steam the thing out so it doesn't have the lines going back and forth. Crying out loud. I've got great content, but you can see the closet behind me that has, my 19 pairs of shoes from 1972. Right? Like, let's amp up the game. And here's the deal. Speakers, you'll get slaughtered. You're just going to get slaughtered if your videos are crap. Okay, so video. Next up is text. I always either write an article about what I just did in the video, or I'll get the video transcribed, or I'll give a rough outline because Google likes text. So you do 1 part for people and 1 part for robots. You got to play the game. Right or rich, pick one. And you got 15-year-olds that have figured this out. That every time I say that, it just scares the bejesus out of me. I have a nephew that turns 16 in 2 weeks, and he's going to be in a car, and that is really scary because I'm finding out about his car restoration via Instagram. Right? We got to meet our customers where they are. So text, and then the most important piece of the whole pie is you have to have an action item for somebody if they want to raise their hand and do business with you. You have to make it easy. Has to be easy. So I use a CRM system. Some of you use Infusionsoft. We partnered with a company called Mothernode. It's a true CRM system. And then you can do all kinds of amazing things with it. And it will now link directly to Infusionsoft. So you can actually have a CRM account. And I'm going to show you a copy of a blog post next slide so you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But people can fill out. I am not about just building an email list. Okay? If somebody wants to do business with me and they truly want to do business with me, I want as much information out of them as I can. right? I don't only do email marketing. To me, that's a really risky proposition because here's the reality. I can outperform any of you building a list by just going and buying a bunch of meetup groups that have your exact niche list in it. Or I can go to eBay and I can buy 100 million email addresses for $6.50, right? So I use a true CRM system. I can now talk back and forth with other CRM systems, and I create an actual web form, and when they hit the submit button, it sends me an email, says, hey, you have a new lead in your system, but it will also redirect them to some other website, okay? So I'm going to give you an example of this so you can actually see this in real time, okay? Do you guys want to see the slide and have me explain it, or explain it and then show you the slide?
See the slide.
Gosh, I'm clicking in my ear. My throat. Does anybody... Oh, I won't go down that road. Okay, so here's what a blog post looks like using...
Squirrel.
Did I lose you? No. Or you're just making asterisks going, I'm going to ask you...
I love your humor.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, so here's how a blog post looks in DNet. Now, if you have a WordPress site, you can do the same exact thing. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to make the case you need to be in a blog where there's a ton of content being produced so it'll actually get seen by people. But if you want to do content and put it up on your own blog and not have it be seen by people, that's cool too. So, that was selling right there. Did you like that?
Yeah.
Well, you can go and these guys are dentists. You can go and have that candy. It's not going to really matter. Or you can have this sugar-free Trident. I don't care. Here's my card. Let me stand and give you a 30-second commercial at my chamber. Okay. Sorry, I am like all sorts of crazy today. Here's a tangent. You want to know the funny thing? Do you notice that there's an energy drink up here? I know my audience. You do not want me to open that thing. Trust me, we could have a big problem. Okay, so here's how the blog looks. So for the purposes of this blog, I had to cut it in half. So I want you to think of it like this, and then put this on the top of that side. Does that make sense? I just had to cut it. So here's what we did. Picture of my buddy Jim Fortin. So Jim Fortin is a sales trainer. He has a program called Zero Effort Selling. He's a great speaker trainer around the world. He trains people on how to sell more stuff with less effort. Okay? He has a huge internet presence. So I'm like, oh, I gotta get this guy on a blog post. First with influence, he's a yak job. And he's a speaker. Okay, so here's what we did. He has an affiliate program. His affiliate program is a membership site that people pay $48 a month to be a part of, and I get paid $24 or 50% every time I send him something, right? It's a pretty standard affiliate model, right? So check this out, guys. Here's what I did. Jim Fortin is guest... Oh, that could have been a bad insurance liability claim. Okay, Jim Fortin is a guest on Casey Everhart's Double Your Check called Zero Effort Selling. That thing is optimized for Jim Fortin, Casey Everhart. I do a weekly free call called the Double Your Check call. Double Your Check and Jim's program, Zero Effort Selling. In the title of the blog post. Not too shabby, right? Featured image of my friend Jim Fortin. Video of Jim and I doing a Google Hangout. I've got a lower third on there. Jim and I have an hour-long conversation about his program, about how to sell more stuff, blah, 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 blah. What you can see is I had to cut it off. I actually took his bullet points and I wrote them out in text format, so you just see the last few lines. Then I have a lead capture form where we say in there, hey, if you want to be a part of Jim's membership site or you want to learn more about Jim, here's what I want you to do. I want you to fill out the form below. So I asked for their name, their last name, email address, their telephone number, and what was the best part about the call. And then there's the byline of the blog post. So let me check this out. This is what happens. So this goes out, this goes up on DNet, runs a huge thing, right? All of a sudden now, and then we have social media sharing. I'll run through that here in a second. So here's what happens. I go on a cruise, right? It was not the Marketer's Cruise, and I am so upset that I was not on the Marketer's Cruise, but tomorrow you're going to hear about the Marketer's Cruise. And you guys should... Screw with the camera, guys. Screw with the camera, guys. But Captain Lou is going to talk about the Marketer's Cruise. So when you're on the Marketer's Cruise, here's what can happen. I had 24 people fill out that form, and 9 people bought. Which means I had 13 people that we were titillating enough to get them to fill out the form, but they didn't buy, because that submit button took them right to the buy page. So you know what we did? We did something amazing. We called them. And sold an additional 11 units out of the 13. So while other people are just trying to drive traffic to an affiliate site, I'm driving traffic to people that are actually interested in what he does, so that when I have another program about selling stuff, you know what I can do? I can call them. Right? So, I'm so behind it, it's hysterical. That's all good though. You got to be able to share this stuff. You got to be able to share this stuff social media wise, right? So on DNet, we have a sharing system. We use only the main ones: Google+, Facebook, Recommend, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest. We play for Google, but here's the cool thing in DNet. I can tell you that this plugin, if you have your own blog, it's great. It's really, really expensive. We did it because we wanted our people and our community to be able to do this. So when you leave a comment on one of our blog posts, you leave it and you can see this is Bruce right here, Bruce McGillicuddy. His actual name is Waterman, but I call him Bruce McGillicuddy. So he can leave a comment. It automatically posts a comment to the WordPress blog, but it also will post that comment to his Facebook page. This is how we get viral content read. But the really cool thing is that if you click the change button, you can actually leave a Facebook comment from your fan page or any page that you're an admin on. Which means that now that comment will be Bruce's business is called Exposure Biz. So in Bruce's business, it will leave from that fan page, which means now anybody that's coming there will see Exposure Biz. They can click on that and go directly to his fan page. Is that cool or what? So when I do a blog post on DNet, I go and I leave 5 comments from the 5 fan pages that I'm in. Right? And in LinkedIn, we have it set up to where you can actually go post that blog post in every single group that you're a part of in LinkedIn as well. So it creates a viral share very, very quickly. Okay? You got to learn, right? So we got to know the power of Google. We have to be able to create digital assets that produce compounding results over time. This is so important. If you can grasp this, just think about this. If instead of you going to your networking event, you took that same 2 hours and you pumped out 4 videos, put them up on YouTube, put them up on a blog, join DNet, and put them up on a blog, you set it and forget it. It's Ron Popeil at its finest. Right? Then you put it in YouTube. I'm going to quickly tell you the YouTube thing that I told you guys I wanted to share with you. So, you know on YouTube how annoying it is when you do your video and all your competitors' videos show up on the right-hand side?
Yeah.
Can I show you how to never have that happen and have only your video show up? Would that be worth the price of admission?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what you do. You make up a fake word. Okay?
What?
You make up a fake word.
Fake?
Fake.
Fake.
Art out. Live Bob. It can't be anything that somebody would search for. And then you put that in tag slot number 2 in every video that you do.
Wow.
And what it does is it tricks the algorithm in Google showing only the niche videos that it thinks the customer wants to see. And it's going to go to niche 2, it's going to see only your videos, so only your videos will show up on the right-hand side. Not 100% perfect, but if you get 4 out of the 8 videos or 5 out of the 8 videos, you're doing really well. Right? Now the other YouTube trick, you know how your competitor's videos show up at the end of your video?
Yeah.
Right? So if I'm going and looking at Leap Player or whatever they showed us yesterday, I wrote that down. But the other thing you do is you have Bruce take your videos and add a slide at the end that is an annotation. Remember Davin talked about the annotation? You put that annotation in there and you let it run for 5 minutes past the end of your video. It doesn't actually add time to the video, but it will run longer, so the video is still in theory running. People will have clicked off of it before the end of that annotation. They won't see your competitors' videos. Right? However, if you use the tagging thing, you might want to do that because your videos will start to show up in there. Does that make sense? Okay?
Casey, you can now do that in youtube.com/editor with lower third graphics and run the titles at the end with your website.
Bam is right there.
.com/editor.
So is that cool, you guys? And if that was too fast and it doesn't make sense, find me at the break or find me. I'm here all weekend. You guys all happy to answer. There is a way, by the way, you can't see tags anymore in YouTube. Right? So if you go try to find what my tags are in my video, YouTube has now hidden them. But in a YouTube video, if you look at the video and you, I can't remember the whole thing. I'm going to see if I can test it. I'll tell you guys tomorrow if I can test it. I don't want to tell you something that I haven't tested. But there is a way to see other tags. I want to go find it. Okay? Has this been helpful? Yes. Like super helpful?
Yes.
Okay. I only have a few minutes left. I would like to share with you a little bit about DNET and what we are as a community, but I am only going to do that if you guys feel I've earned the right to do that. If you've got enough content and value that you'll let me talk for 5 minutes about what I do, I'm cool, otherwise I can end. You're cool? I'm cool? Okay.
Go for it.
You realize, by the way, you had no choice in that matter whatsoever. Until they bring a shepherd's hook up and get me off this stage. No. And I would have just told you during the breaks anyways. No, so here's the deal.
Costume change.
Yeah. You don't want to see the next costume change. The idea is to keep you in the room, right? No, so here's the deal. So DNET is a community of bloggers. We're a community of collaborators. And we believe that collaboration is the new currency. So we've created a network of people all around the country in a gazillion different professions, and we teach and train how to work together to build a big digital asset, a big digital footprint. And because our blog is made up of many different people, we rank really high in Google really fast. Because we know the power of Google. We actually own a search engine optimization firm as well. And so we understand the power of SEO. So all of our community members, they can contribute content to our blog. They can contribute events. So if you have events that you do, you can put those on our events. They go viral very, very quickly. So here's the kind of the overall deal with DNET. You can publish unlimited content on any of our web properties. Here's the beautiful thing. If you have content already, if you have videos already, if you have your own blog already, take that content and publish it on our blog. We will outperform your blog with your content. It's great because you just put your links, your backlinks in there. If you understand WordPress, or your VA does anyways, we're a WordPress format, it will look very, very familiar. We just ask that you change a few of the words because we don't want Google to think that we only do duplicate content. However, 95% of the content that comes out on our blog is original content. So even if everybody in this room contributed content you had done before, it wouldn't really affect the group as a whole. Does that make sense? Okay. So you can promote events. We're a collaborative network. We have many radio shows and TV shows that other people inside the network do. Like I do 4 shows for DNET. There's probably about 15 or 20 shows. If you want to participate and you want to do a show, it's great. We only have guests from our community on those shows. Why? Because we believe in collaboration. We want to work together. So if you want to be a guest on one of our shows, you have to be a part of our community. Okay? So, but for speakers, you guys, I'm just going to tell you, because I'm a speaker and I'm the CEO, which means I get to create this thing, we're all in this together. I build this thing for speakers. Right? I do. I build it for speakers because I know that they have networks and I want to leverage other people's networks, right? Who has big networks? You think Davin and Vijal have a big network?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay? So you have access to our niche communities. We actually have 16 satellite sites launching in the month of May. These are all niche sites. Like we have one for just speakers, we have one just for cheerleaders, we have one just for attorneys, we have one just for the gifting industry, we have one just for the entertainment industry. You can participate in those communities as well, up to 5. Okay, so we allow you to publish content on our main blog, and then you have access to post into up to 5 communities, and those are run by different people in those communities. Okay? Monetize referrals. This is a biggie. How many, I'm not going to ask it, I want to know, but you think about how much business you pass in referrals that you don't get paid on. Almost everybody in our community says, hey, I'll pay anybody 20% for passing me business. I am a great game player at the game Hot Potato. Generate a lead over here, pass it over here, take a slice out the center, I'll do that all day long. I don't have employees, I don't have servers, I don't have to do the work, I don't do anything. She wins because she gets a business, I win because I get a check. The community wins because we're both part of it. So what I do is I sit and I interview all the network members, all the community members. We do the same Jim Fortin model up here, and I just generate leads for all the people in our network. It's brilliant. My best friend is a property manager up in Seattle. He generates leads for property managers all over the country, and then he just sells the leads off if they're not in Seattle. So you actually become just a lead machine. Where's my realtor that we were talking with yesterday, the investor guy? Where'd he go?
Here's one here, though.
There's one there. I got that. It's really important. If you can generate leads for realtors, even though they're nuts, they pay. Right? Because they're all fighting for business. So go figure out how to generate realtors leads. You know what you do? You do some videos on them, outrank them for their own name. Bruce actually does a nonprofit. He built a website. Everything's huge and great. He did one blog post on DNET about the charity, and that blog post outranks their own website. Wow. It's because we have the power of a community, the power of a group. You can generate unlimited leads and opportunities. You can use it. We have community leaders that are like, you know what? I just want the backlinks. We're a highly valued website, so the backlinks from our site to their website is worth the price of admission. It's huge. You guys understand power of backlinks, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because most of the time you're going to pay your VA to go do a bunch of backlinking, and then they do it in link farms, and it can be really bad. But the other thing is we are a great collaborative environment. I'm going to give you just one quick example, and then I'm going to wrap it up. I know nothing about credit card processing. How much do I know about credit card processing?
Nothing.
Okay. I now make about $1,000 a month selling credit card processing. You know why? Because a buddy of mine inside the network said, hey, here's the thing. I want you to just ask your people if they take credit cards. If they do take credit cards, the next question is, are they married to their processor? If they take credit cards and they're not married to their processors, send them my way, and I'll sign them up. I'll pay you 20% of their fees every single month. I'm like, that's the easiest question ever. Would have never had that opportunity if we weren't inside that collaborative network. Now I can put that up on the DNET blog, build a community, generate leads for him, and everybody wins. Does this make sense? Yeah. Okay, so here's the scoop. Let me just tell you the cost to be every single member in our community pays the same amount of money. There's no discounts, and there are none of them in the room. That is on purpose because I am going to get in trouble. So, in order to join DNET, it's $100 a month. Okay, it's $1,200 a year. However, you guys had to sit and endure this presentation for the first time. Did I do okay for our first time out on the presentation? Okay, cool. So here's the scoop. It's $100 a month. If you went to DNET TV right now and tried to join, it's $100 a month. There's no bonuses. There's no nothing. However, if you want to join over the weekend, I'm here today and tomorrow. My suggestion is do it today and we can get you started. But I'm gonna do it for a year for $497. Right? So it's under half off. And here's the deal. I'm just a big guy that believes in giving more value than I expect to. If I give you more value than you expect to receive, everything else is going to be fine. Okay, so here's what I'm going to add. I'm going to add, Davin and Bujal are kind enough to add my CD set, 147 Ways to Generate Leads for Your Business, which, by the way, just as a side note, this is what I sell from the platform, and it never sells for less than $400. Nobody in this room has ever, none of you really ever seen me, but Lou has seen me speak, Bujal has seen me. This is my signature product. It normally goes for between $400 and $1,000, depending on what event it is.
And it's awesome.
It is awesome. Thank you, Lou. I appreciate that. It's really cool. I mean, look, you got to generate leads for your business. It's 8 hours long. You get that free. It's just, I'm going to include it today. Okay? I also have 2 other CDs out that you'll get copies of. One's called Get More Referrals Now. The other one's never been released yet, and it's called How to Explode Your Contact List. And it's 7 different ways to utilize the internet to explode your network. Okay? Not really like with dynamite, but explode the size of your network. Okay? I'll also do a Google Hangout with you, and I can tell you this. I have a pretty good ranking in Google for my name, so our Google Hangout, you will SEO it for my name. I will help you do that, so that if people Google you, I'll show up. If people Google me, you'll show up. Okay, so I'm happy to do that. I'll include that. I'll also do a website review if you want us to look over your website and see if we can tweak it, make it better, and integrate it better. I'm happy to do that as well. And then we also provide you training with you. If it's you that's going to be joining our community, we'll introduce you and we'll do the training with you. If not, we'll train your VA how to do it as well. Is that cool?
Yes.
So this is not a big thing. I would love to have you be a part of this community. We're fairly new. I've been the CEO since Thanksgiving. It's my baby. We design it, we create it, we build it bigger every day. Right now, we're adding people every day to the community. And you guys are my family for the weekend. Temporary family. But I would love to have you be a part of DNET. This is the first time. This is not going to be a price that you're going to see again. I wanted to do it for Davin and Bijal because they're such good friends of mine. Love to have you be a part. And then my last slide, as we go to break, we're going to take a 15-minute break. I will head outside and I'll answer questions if you have any questions. But other than that, I really hope you got some value out of today. This was just, I found a funny graphic and I couldn't figure out how to use it in the slide deck, so we made up a slide for it. So I want you to join the collaboration, but I don't want any running to the back of the room to join. I just love that graphic of this little sign that says no running, right? And especially because this floor is slippery. So you guys, look, here's the deal. This weekend is about action. It's about taking decision and making decisions and taking committed action in your business. If this sounds cool for you, fantastic. If it's not for you, fantastic. But I really want you to take this weekend and draw some conclusions of how you can take your business to a different level. Not just one other little level, but accelerated results. Right? How do you get from here to hanging in the Philippines? Right? That's what we're here to do this weekend. And I just want to acknowledge each and every one of you, because I understand the value of your time. Davin understands the value of your time. Bijal understands the value of your time. Everybody here working for you understands the value of your time. And it is our only goal to let you walk out of here with some new visions, some new directions, some new things to do, to look at, to build your business, and to just crank it so you can have the laptop lifestyle. So you can go hang with Lou on the Marketers Cruise and joint venture with people. So you can go ride elephants and tigers and things with Bijal and his family. So you can go hang with Davin and sit on his pimped red couch like this with some, gold records. Right? It is. He lives in a really pimp house, I do have to say. So you guys, I just want to say we're going to take a 15-minute break. Thank you guys so much. I hope you got a lot out of this. I'm happy to answer questions. We'll see you guys back in 15 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.